everyone, I'm Sarah.
I'm Lucinda.
And welcome back to Color Class. And in today's
Yay,
video,
this is going to be a good one.
yes, we're looking at Hollywood icons. And we're going to break down their seasons and have so much fun with it.
And not current Hollywood icons.
No.
I was watching an old movie, and it had Grace Kelly in it. And I was blown away by how absolutely gorgeous she was. And the whole time I was looking at her, I was like, her season is I won't tell you yet, but that's what inspired this. It's a little nostalgic, and we just want to enjoy it with you.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about Grace Kelly, let's just talk about her.
Let's just talk about Grace Kelly. So I was watching To Catch a Thief, and, handsome Cary Grant and gorgeous Grace Kelly, and I just kept looking at her because she didn't have that bottle blonde look that some of the icons of the day had. I mean, let's face it, their hair color wasn't as advanced as ours is. But perhaps the most beautiful thing about her was her delicate beauty. And so I was like, well, her hair is kind of blondish, and her eyes are kind of bluish, and her skin tone, she's a summer.
Yeah.
Of course she's a summer. No red or gold highlights. And she's just lovely. She married a prince, just FYI.
Good for you.
Prince Rainier of Monaco. And let's take a look. I mean, here she is in all her glory. On the left, is a good white for her, so it's perfect.
It's kind of see-through too, so it gives her like a little bit of something. It's not a crisp white for a winter.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed, now this movie had been colorized, and that was something that I thought about, but still, her skin tone is it's a little on the cool side, based on what I was seeing, and almost transparent. And sometimes summers have the characteristic that their skin almost looks like it's glowing, or it's like porcelain. Some. And I was struck by, like, look at how gorgeous she is in that hooded, dusty pink color.
Only a summer could pull that off, and that is stunning on her.
Absolutely. So that's our first Hollywood icon. She's a summer. And if you guys have disagreement, because what makes this hard is that all of these ladies are colorized. It was back in the day when black and white photography was pretty much the thing. And I remember...
Yeah, just wait till our last person that we're going to do, because we were trying to figure it out.
You're ripping our hair out. But we ended up where we started. And sometimes with color analysis, that's good. You go on a whole long journey to come back to the place you were.
So our next beautiful Hollywood icon.
Oh, she's so pretty.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny because she's wearing her winter palette.
Her jewel tones. So family out there, Color Class family, what beautiful person who can wear jewel tones and has deep hair and lots of contrast. What's that season? It's a winter. And she is perhaps the most iconic winter, because there's something interesting happening with her eyes, her irises. A lot of people think, oh, yeah, Elizabeth Taylor and her famous violet eyes. And she did. She, based on people, she moved to Virginia here, to this very county, when she married a state senator here. And so people would see her quite a bit. And, the buzz was, she really did have violet eyes. Now, what's cooler than violet? Well, I guess, blue, certain blues are cooler. But that is just so jewel-like, and it's just such a great winter characteristic.
Yeah.
And of course, she had that very fair skin, again, fairly porcelain. So much contrast between her hair and her face, and she's just gorgeous, and she really knew what to wear.
Right, a classic winter.
We had the benefit of having Elizabeth Taylor reach a little bit older age, as one of these Hollywood icons. And we got to see her transition through a lot of things. And ultimately, she ended up with hair that was kind of black, and then it had white streaks or big, bold white streaks. But she never abandoned her season. I mean, she always dressed in her season.
And she looks gorgeous in it. And like we always say, you gravitate towards your season because those colors look best on you.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, moving on to an autumn.
One of my favorites, Rita Hayworth. I wanted to include her because a friend of mine once said, "Oh my goodness, your daughter, this one, looks exactly like Rita Hayworth." And I never thought of it before, but yeah, she kind of does. And so that's a compliment, by the way.
Thank you.
And so I wanted to include her because everyone knows who watches us that Sara is an autumn. And sure enough, Rita is an autumn. She's got a little bit of softness to her. Now, the two warm seasons, as we know, are spring and they're autumn. The way you tell an autumn from a spring is that they're softer. They're not bright. And she has that classic autumn softness to her and just looks amazing.
Yeah. One thing I did notice is she didn't tend to stay in her colors a lot when I was doing some image research for her. But I saw this gold. She looks amazing. But then I saw her in this light lavender color and the black. She still looks great.
Yeah, but that it's kind of far away from her face.
Right.
And the other thing I will say is these stars, they were at the mercy of their costume designers.
Right.
So if they decided to put you in something for the benefit of the show, then that is what you wore. It wasn't like you could say, well, I only want to dress in my colors. And usually the pictures that we see, that we still have access to, are from movies, and they were promotional pieces and things like that. So it wasn't like we saw them out on the street like we see celebrity photos today. So it makes it a little bit different to color analyze these beautiful Hollywood icons. But, we
Up for the challenge.
we're all about with you guys. Our next iconic star is a mystery. We're going to present to you a seasonal mystery. And what we're going to do together as a group is we're going to solve it. We need opinions, we need input, we need research from you guys because Marilyn Monroe, she's a seasonal mystery.
Yeah, we were looking at some younger photos of Marilyn Monroe before she had dyed her hair.
Became a bombshell.
Right, I should say bleached her hair. And they're kind of all over the place. Like I've seen
We've
some
seen
that
red,
are
we've seen light brown, we've seen
right.
dark brown. So to try,
And we should probably say they were all colorized photos,
Yeah.
so it's not 100% with accuracy.
Obviously, this challenge that we're bringing to you is particularly difficult because we're not able to see anybody's even close to their real colors,
Right.
because they are at the mercy of whoever colorized the photo. And back in the day, they did it with little boxes of oil paints, and they painted on the color. I don't know if you remember seeing old photos that look like they were just flat, like, part of them were painted and part of them weren't. Well, that's how it was done. And we do have the benefit now of having old movies that are colorized in a sort of a digital way. And so that gives us a better representation. So I'm very confident about Grace Kelly. But once again, in the movie Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, that is perhaps Marilyn Monroe's most iconic outfit, except for the Mr. President dress. But let's go back to the pink.
Or the 7th year, or
What is 7-year itch?
7-year itch, that's it.
Well, in that, she was wearing
White.
iconic white.
Right.
But I'm almost willing to bet that it was an off-white, more of an ivory. But just because of the fabrics of the era, I don't know if they could have gotten like true white. I'll have to ask my former costume design teacher. I will ask her that.
Okay.
But her most memorable, let me say memorable dress was the Gentlemen Prefer Blondes shocking pink dress. Now, everything we've seen of her is that she's a warm season.
So her natural color being a little bit brownish reddish, and
Her bleach color being a little on the
right,
yellowish side.
yeah, and obviously they didn't have great dye when she first dyed it. They said she used peroxide, so I can imagine if somebody
It would
with
have been very yellow.
right, I in my head I would think it would be a little bit more of a golden blonde.
Yeah, like a pale golden blonde, like a flax, like a pale flax. But in that shocking pink dress, she was shocking and beautiful and absolutely gorgeous. So here we have a dilemma, and we are reaching out to you, our listeners. Help us. Help us solve this dilemma. Your challenge and your homework at the end of this video is to look at photos of Marilyn Monroe and give us your opinion and tell us why.
Because I feel like we've seen her in like the platinum blonde, we've seen her in a golden blonde, we've seen her in the brown hair.
And we've seen her in white. She has, at times, had absolutely white blonde hair.
So we are having a tough time, and there might be no answer to this one. It might just be she was stunning and she was able to wear anything because it was all done in black and white.
There is always an answer, and we're going to find it because the color analysts who listen to our channels always have the answer.
We hope you enjoyed this color class today. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. And I'm Sarah.
I'm Lucinda.
And we'll see you in the next video.